there, Sagittarius, and welcome to your May 2018 Love Reading with Divine Love Tarot. I want to thank you for joining me today, whether it's your first time or a return viewer or subscriber. Thank you, and I hope the message of this video resonates with you. Now, if you find that this message isn't resonating with you, then you should go ahead and check out your moon sign, your rising sign, and sometimes even your Venus, because those planets may be more prominent in your chart, okay? Now, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and get into your reading, okay? The first card represents your current energy, okay? And we've got the Hierophant. Is my music too loud? I think so. We've got the Hierophant in reverse. So here with the Hierophant in reverse, you can find yourself questioning tradition. And I feel like this is a recurring theme with you Sagittarius, is because I feel like this has come up in your readings before. But it's the questioning tradition. It's the not conforming or not wanting to conform to society, or feeling restricted by, you know, the norms of society or what's expected of you, right? This represents being untraditional, unorthodox, and it's, you know, also represents the pressure to conform to tradition, all right? For some of you guys in a relationship, this represents broken tradition, okay? So let's just say, you know, every year you take a vacation together. Maybe, you know, one of you decided you don't want to do that anymore, or maybe it just didn't happen this year, or, you know, things that you guys have set up within the framework of your relationship that represents tradition to you. Somehow those things are not happening anymore, okay? Hierophant, of course, is the marriage card. So sometimes when I see this card, I think of people who are either in an unconventional marriage, or people who may be in a long-term commitment, but they haven't made that step to actually legalize the union, okay? I also think of relationships that involve, you know, affairs. One person may be married, but they're in a relationship to someone who is not their spouse, you know, i.e. a mistress or side piece or whatever you want to call it. So when I see the Hierophant in reverse, I also think of that also. Now, moving on to your challenge for this month, or what's crossing that card, we have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups can represent a new love. It can represent feelings of love, the initial stages of love, you know, the initial stages of a relationship. For some of you, there may be a baby on the way, or you've recently had a baby. So for some of you, the issue may be that if you are in an unconventional relationship or non-committed, but there's a child involved now, somebody may be moving or pressing or pressuring you now to make things legal. You know, let's put a ring on it. Let's make this official because we do have a child in the picture. For others of you, you're either thinking about breaking your tradition because there's someone else in the picture that's caught your eye, okay? So it's like you're not sure what's expected of you anymore, because you're not even sure if you want to be in this particular situation. For others of you, you want love, okay? You want new love, and your challenge is to get that when you feel like you're not willing to do what's expected of you. Okay, Sagittarius, because coming out of your past energy, we've got the Empress in reverse. So for some of you, this could mean that there was a Libra or a Taurus that was significant to you. But this card in reverse can represent promiscuity, okay? This can represent someone who had several lovers, someone who had several options. And I'm not saying that because you have several lovers means you're promiscuous. It's two different things. It's just that's two different things the card can represent. But also, this card can represent a mistress or someone who is a trophy wife, okay? So there may be a situation where maybe you do have someone who is a trophy wife, but now you, or, you know, or someone who, you know, you were married to because of how they looked or how they made you look or how they made you, you know, seem to others. And now you have the opportunity for true love, and this is your challenge, okay? That's going to resonate for some of my Sagittariuses. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on to your future energy. And we've got the Three of Wands in reverse. So the Three of Wands in reverse indicates possible delays or setbacks, not getting what you want, okay, or things not going your way. But it can also represent that you're not seeing the bigger picture, okay? Sometimes we don't tend to see the bigger picture because we're focused on what it is that we want. And sometimes that bigger picture is that, you know, someone just doesn't feel the way that you want them to feel. You know, we can be in relationships for some, what people will be in a relationship with you for a long time, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in love with you or that they love you the way that they think. You could be convenient to them, or they could be convenient to you. It could just be a situation where you're familiar with each other, you know each other, you're comfortable with each other, you're complacent with each other, right? And I'm kind of jumping ahead because I looked at your advice card, but we'll get there. And so with the Three of Wands, it's kind of realizing that, you know, well, it is you not seeing things for what they are, okay? Um, it also can be frustration, okay, from waiting on something that's never happening because, once again, you're not seeing the bigger picture. This person isn't going to commit to you, okay? Or this person doesn't want to commit to you. Or you're not seeing how unhappy this person is because you don't want to commit to them, because you're just so focused on the fact that you don't want to conform, or you're focused on the fact of you want things to go a certain way. You're not seeing how it's affecting this other person. Okay. Some of you guys are no longer going to wait around. Okay. If you've been waiting for commitment from someone and it hasn't come, you're not waiting around for that anymore. Okay. Um, Go ahead now and move on to what you want. And we've got the Two of Wands, but in the reverse. Okay. So upright, the Two of Wands represents a decision that needs to be made, being at a crossroads or a fork in the road. So when that, I see that as being in the reverse, you want things to be decided. You want things to be more definite, okay? You've made that decision, whatever that is, okay? Or you want to make that decision. You want things to be more clear and defined. The Two of Wands in the reverse can also indicate that you're ready to go into the unknown, okay? You're ready to go into uncharted territory. You're waiting for something, not waiting, but you're ready. You're wanting something to happen, maybe waiting for somebody to come and sweep you off your feet. And why I say that is because the Two of Wands is in reverse, so that energy is not moving. You're not moving. You're waiting for something to come to you, whether that's a pleasant surprise, someone, you know, oh, okay, you know what, I'm ready to commit, and you're like, oh, yay, great, I've been waiting for this. This is not a card of waiting. I just say that because it's in the reverse, which means that there's some sort of stagnation here on your part as far as the energy that you're putting into the situation. So it's almost like you don't want to put any energy in. You want something to come to you. Okay. You don't want to have to make the decision. You want the other person to decide what they want. And whatever that may be, whether they want to be in a relationship or not, you don't want to be the one to make that decision. All right. Now we move on to your internal factors. And we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Okay. So for some of you, this indicates that there's a loss of love, or this represents falling out of love, especially if this was something that you rushed into, because the Eight of Wands tend to indicate, tend to indicate a relationship that came together really quickly. Like, you know, Cupid shot you in the back and you just fell in love, head over heels with a person, but usually you fall out of love just as quickly in those types of situations. So here you are now thinking that you were head over heels in love with somebody, and you're realizing that you're not. Okay, Sagittarius. So you're not. It's almost like, even though you want this other person to make a decision, you're at a place where you're not wanting to wait around for that anymore, or you're not waiting for them to unexpectedly give you that love or that rush of love that you may have gotten when you guys first met. Okay. um it's like, basically, you want a sure thing now. Okay, you're tired of the unexpected. You're tired of, oh, let's see what happens. You want a sure thing. And I mean, this is kind of the same thing this card is saying, but both of these wands are in the reverse. Like right now, all of your wands are in the reverse. Okay, so your energy isn't moving. You're not budging. You're waiting. You're still sitting back and seeing what, or you're impatient now. Okay, you're impatient about the fact that things haven't progressed the way that you would like them to progress. All right, maybe you're holding back on this commitment because you haven't gotten this kind of love that you want. Okay, and you're tired because you're seeing it's not coming, not from this particular person, especially if they were the Empress in the reverse. Okay. Excuse me, hold on, let me get some water. Okay, so my throat was a little dry there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to your advice for the reading. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles, but in the reverse. So with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like this is about accepting your mistakes, okay, so that you can move on from them. It's about moving on from something just because it's familiar. It's about not being complacent. It's about stepping outside the box. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse is kind of urging you to kind of grow, not even just grow up, but grow past your current situation. Okay, maybe you've been in something for a long time and it just isn't serving you anymore. So it's time for you to make some moves, okay? Instead of always sitting back and waiting for the other person to make a move, instead of always waiting for someone to come to you with an offer of love, instead of you chasing people and then once you get them, not knowing what to do with them anymore, sitting back and waiting for them to do everything. This is you growing to a place where you are going after exactly what it is you want, and you're making the moves to take relationships in the direction that you want them to go, okay? And not just hoping that the other person will get a clue, right? We go ahead and we move to the external factor in this situation, and we have the Star card. So for some of you, this could be an Aquarius, okay? But if not, this can indicate someone who may consider you as their soulmate, okay? Someone who's got their eye on you, someone who has not approached you yet, and maybe that's what you're waiting for, okay? Maybe there's someone that you feel like is perfect for you, and you're waiting on them to make a move, and that's going to require some patience because the Star card is a very positive card, and it does indicate soulmates, but sometimes it can also indicate star-crossed lovers, which they're not necessarily always meant to be in this, quote unquote lifetime. It's like never on the same page, always missing each other. You guys know you have feelings for each other, but when you meet them, this person's committed or you're not available or they're living in another state or another country, so it's just not the right time. So if you want that person, then you're going to have to continue to be patient if that's what you're waiting for. But it seems like you're kind of tired of that, Sagittarius. But that is the external factor of this whole situation for some of you, is that there's someone that you've been waiting on, and that person isn't necessarily coming. Not at this moment, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to your hopes and your fears. And we've got the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is, someone who's focusing on what they've lost and not focusing on what they have, okay? And so you fear that, you're going to miss out. You fear that you're going to basically wind up in a place where you're looking back at all the relationships that, didn't go well, or particularly this relationship that didn't go well, and what you could have done. And, you don't want to break up necessarily, but at the same time, you're not at a place where you're willing to put any more energy into it. So it's like, what's going to happen? And you're leaving it totally up into somebody else's hands, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the outcome. And we have the Knight of Cups, okay? So the Knight of Cups can represent love, but it mostly, to me, represents romance, okay? The Knight of Cups can be someone who comes into your life with, beautiful romance and everything is great. It's like a whirlwind type romance. It doesn't necessarily last forever, but for the time being, it feels great, okay? Because the Knight can tend to be in love with love, all right? It's romance from romance sake. It's not necessarily that they have feelings or that they love you. It's just the fact that they love romancing you. They love the hugs, they love the kisses, they love the passion, they love going on dates. And that can be confusing for some people. You may feel like, um, it's love, but it may not necessarily be love. So be careful. The Knight of Cups can be someone who's a Scorpio, possibly even a Libra, but or any other water sign. Um, or it could be you. That could be your energy. Okay, Sagittarius, you could be the one that wants, because internally with this Eight of Wands here, it's like you're tired of waiting for something unexpected. So you may decide that you're gonna turn up the romance. Okay, you're gonna be like, look, I'll, I'll put the effort in because this is what I want. Okay, and it's not coming, so I'm gonna do what I got to do to make it happen. All right, guys, so that has been your May monthly reading. From here, I would go ahead and start pulling clarifiers. So if you're interested in that extended reading, check out the eye icon on the right hand side of your screen. Right here somewhere. Oh my god, my finger's too big. And in that icon, it will tell you how to get the extended reading, or if you would like a personal reading, you can go ahead and contact me for a personal reading. Um, my my email address is divinelovetarot@gmail.com, or you can check out my website and see the kinds of readings I offer. All right, guys, so I hope this did resonate with you. Like I said, if it doesn't, go ahead and check out your other signs. Also, if you're not aware, I do have a monthly raffle for a free reading, so you can check out my Patreon site, and that link will also be in the eye icon or on your screen at the end of this reading. That'll take you right to Patreon, and you can see how to enter for a free reading. All right, guys, I hope to see you guys at the next reading. Bye, Sagittarius.